Hello and welcome to our final episode in the series, and it's one of my favourite subjects to talk about. This one is all going to be focused on mindfulness and coping strategies for lockdown slash time away from school. Now, this last sort of 9 months, it has been a challenging 9 months for a number of different reasons. So, a number of you may be quite disappointed, or you might be quite happy that you're away from school. But a number of young people that I've spoken to recently have been quite disappointed and quite struggling with the fact that they're not getting out and about and they're not seeing their friends at school. So, this video is primarily going to be focusing around the strategies to help during lockdown. We're going to touch on and discuss a little bit of mindfulness as well. So a little bit of background. So my name is Shane. If you haven't seen the other previous videos, I'd recommend you go back and have a look. But if you want to have a look at this as a standalone video, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So if you haven't seen the other videos, my name is Shane Franklin, and I'm a founder and lead trainer of an organisation called Seagarn. And we go up and down the country delivering sessions for young people in between the ages of 7 to 25 years old. So anywhere you can imagine a young person would be between those ages, I deliver workshops for them, and it could be anything based around mindfulness, leadership, employability, and business skills. Those are the main four sort of areas that I focus on, and it could be in primary schools, it could be in secondary schools, colleges, universities, youth groups, local authorities, pretty much anywhere you can imagine. A young person would be. I deliver work for them. So similar to yourself. So this is January 2021. Unfortunately, I am working from home, so normally I'm in schools and colleges and I'm on trains and going up and down the country talking to young people in various different settings. So unfortunately, I am here sort of working from home, as I'm sure a number of you are. And the exercises we're going to go through today is typically what I would do with young people in school or perhaps face-to-face. And I hope you enjoy the session, and also I hope you get something out from it that you can use going forward. So a little bit about us is we're very, very passionate about developing people and nurturing tomorrow's leaders. Okay, so developing people and nurturing tomorrow's leaders is our main focus, and we believe that you guys, you are the future. So you are going to be the ones that are going to be innovating and creating products, okay, to benefit the world in years to come. We do this by delivering training programs, and our training programs are really quite varied. They're very interactive, working with lots of different people, primarily in London, but we do go to Manchester, Newcastle, Southampton, Bournemouth, you name it. We work up and down the country with a whole array of young people. And our aim is to equip people with the skills needed for the modern world of work. So it's lots of these people, the gentleman in the middle, a little bit older, but lots of people we work with, and the pictures on the left-hand side are of real sessions that I've delivered face to face. So at the moment, you may be a bit like this gentleman here, maybe not in a work or school or college environment, but maybe a little bit stressed. And the first thing I want to just put out there is it is completely fine to feel overwhelmed during this period. Myself, there's been times where I've been, oh, this is great. I get to spend time with my family. I can focus on projects that I don't normally have time with. But equally, there's been times where, I just want to get out, just want to see my family. I just want to see my friends. Okay, but there's various different things we can do to cope during these challenging times. Okay, and I'm going to run through some of them with you today. Now, what I would recommend that you do, if you have watched the other videos, what I recommend that you do is to just, while I ask you questions, would be to pause the video, okay? Because some things are going to take you, exercises might take you sort of 10 minutes to complete, okay? And it would be a little bit weird if I just asked you to do the exercise and I just sat here looking out the window while you completed the exercise. So throughout the video, I will encourage you to pause the session, okay, and then write down the questions that I'm asking you, okay, and then play it again, okay, just so it's nice and free flow. So we'll ask you to pause the video as we are going along. Excuse me. So What immediately comes to your head when I say mindfulness? Have a think about that. What immediately comes to your head when I say mindfulness? So I bet in your head you are thinking someone on a beach, or perhaps some Buddhist somewhere, like meditating, levitating, and sort of thinking of people that do yoga, and maybe that type of thing comes to mind when I say mindfulness. Now, mindfulness can mean many things to people. Okay, so there's no, in my personal opinion, right or wrong about mindfulness. For me, these are the images that typically come to mind, is people meditating and being at one with themselves, and connecting and being out in nature. But actually mindfulness, okay, can mean a lot of different things. Okay, so what I'd implore you guys to do is to take some time out. Okay, really important to take some time out, basically, okay, just to disconnect away from the modern world. Okay, at this moment in time it can be so stressful. We've got parents on our back, you got homeschooling, you may have brothers and sisters who are, you're trying to concentrate, and you've got people all around you. Okay, you may not even have your own laptop, or you may be sharing laptops and computers and things like that with other family members at home, so it can be difficult, okay, to constantly focus on what you've got to do. Okay, but small things, so mindfulness can be just going for a walk. Okay, just going for a walk. Now, all of us at some point walk. Okay, but when I say being mindful when we walk, is to actually go for a walk. Okay, if you can do it, okay, I'd recommend leaving your phone at home if you can do. Okay, if you want to take your phone with you for safety, just popping your phone on airplane mode, putting it on silent. Okay, so you still got your phone with you. Okay, but just go for a walk. Go for a walk. Clear your head. Okay, and turn off that sort of internal dialogue in your head that makes you think about things. Think about the past. Think about the present, and think about the future. So really just focus on the walk at the actual moment, and take in things around you. Okay, so it might seem a bit fluffy, but we can take in, the trees that are around us. We're in London. Okay, so maybe take in, notice that car that is coming towards you. Okay, notice that person that is perhaps walking towards you. Okay, so just take in and be present on where you are right now. Another great mindfulness exercise is to do some form of colouring. So colouring in, or you can do some writing or journaling. Okay, to really just be creative and let your mind and body flow. So the pictures at the bottom, okay, is just to sit. Another way of being mindful. Okay, obviously the gentleman on the left hand side is in a nice environment, perhaps by the seaside. Unfortunately, we don't have a sea here in London. But what you can do, okay, is actually just sit. I guarantee you, close to where you are. Okay, London is a very built up, busy city, but there are loads of places. Okay, I live in Hackney in London. Okay, but there are loads of places. Okay, that you can go to just get some quiet time. If it's difficult for you to go out during lockdown, okay, a bit like this gentleman is, just do it in your bedroom. Okay, so just have a little quiet moment and time to yourself to just reflect. So you can go for a walk, you can do some drawing, some colouring in. You can sit in a nice park or a bench somewhere, or find a nice quiet spot by yourself. Or alternatively, you can just sit within your bedroom. Now, one of the key things, okay, with mindfulness is to just sit and focus. This, my top tip will be just to focus on your breath. Okay, so just focus breathing in and breathing out. Okay, that's all you need to focus on. Okay, lots of the times we are gonna your mind will run away. It happens to me. You will think, oh, what am I gonna have for dinner tonight? Oh, I'm a little bit hungry right now. Oh, I need to get back to that WhatsApp message. Or what am I gonna do tomorrow? Oh yeah, I need to get back to the teacher. Or there's loads of things gonna go on. But if you just focus on your breath and just breathing, okay, slowly but surely, okay, those things will melt away. Okay, so really, really important. Okay, just focus on your breath, and just focus on your environment at the actual time. Okay, so what I want you to do now, okay, we're here right now, is all I want you to do is to make yourself comfortable. Okay, get yourself nice and comfortable, and you can just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All I want you to do now is pause the video, and just set yourself a timer, or, if you can, roughly 5 minutes in your head. Just pause. Okay, no TV, no computer games, no phone. Okay, and just sit. Just take a break for 5 minutes. Okay, so if you can, pause the video now. So, how did that feel? Okay, was your mind racing away with you? Okay, so I hope you pause the video. Okay, if you haven't, pause it now and give it a go for 5 minutes. Was your brain racing away? Was you thinking about lots of things? Was it hard to disconnect? Okay. There's an old saying that says if you don't have time to meditate for 5 minutes a day, then you should do it for 5 hours. Okay. So if you don't have time to meditate for 5 minutes a day, you should meditate for 5 hours. And what that basically is saying is that there's a reason why you can't find 5 minutes a day. We can all find 5 minutes a day. Okay. And I guarantee you, okay, 5 minutes may seem like a long time, 30 seconds even. Okay. But even if you just start with 30 seconds, a minute, and 2 minutes, slowly but surely, you'll be able to build it up. Okay. And hopefully, get to 5 minutes, get to 10 minutes, and maybe even get to 20 minutes. Okay. And the benefits of it are absolutely endless. Okay. So what I would like you to do now, okay, hopefully you've got a diary or some type of planner, okay. What I would love for you to do is to mark down, okay, a time in your day when you can make it happen. Okay, so mark down a time in the day when you can make it happen. So for me, the best time I find will be first thing in the morning. So just for 5 minutes, okay, just have a little meditation, a little time for your day. So get your diary, get your planner out, or if you don't have that available immediately, grab yourself a bit of paper. Excuse me, make an intention, okay, and put down when you're going to do it. Okay, so pause the video and write down when you're going to do it. So, some questions. Okay, so the first question is, how often do you just sit and do nothing? Yeah. So how often do you just sit and do nothing? So I bet lots of the times, particularly with young people, we're often so busy doing things that very rarely do we sit and just do nothing. And what I mean by nothing is not watching TV, not listening to music, not being on your phone. Okay. It's just you're not washing up, you're not in the shower or in the bathroom. Okay. You're just literally sitting and doing nothing. How often do you sit and do that? And be honest with yourself. Okay. So write that down. How often do you sit and do nothing? So pause the video and write that down. The second question is, how does it feel when you sit and just do nothing? Yeah. How does it feel when you sit and just do nothing? So does it feel good? Does it feel like you should be doing something? That's something I struggle with. Like I should be doing something else. For me, it feels like it takes a long while for me to sort of calm my mind and get into that space. Okay, so pause the video. How does it feel when you sit and just do nothing? The third question is, if you don't just sit and do nothing, why not? Yeah, so why is it that you don't just sit and do nothing? Is it you can't be bothered? You don't want to? Is there lots of distractions all around you? Okay, and the reality is, particularly in London, we often have so many distractions all around us. Okay, so lots of us are living in flats. Okay, lots of us are living in busy, built-up environments with noise outside and noise inside. Okay, but we still can silence all of that off. Okay, through mindfulness. Okay. The final thing that I want you to write down is write down one sentence that describes meditation. Okay, so just write down one sentence that describes meditation. So again, pause the video and ask yourself those 4 questions. Lovely. So I hope you've still got those questions written down and they're in front of you. So the last sentence, write down one sentence that describes meditation. So this is something that I wrote down. Meditation for me would be sitting without distraction, silence in the mind, and quite simply just focusing on your breath. Okay, that's all you need to do. So sitting without distraction. Okay, so we're always going to have distractions around us, like I said before, but your mind is not distracted. You're silencing it from the outside environment and also perhaps even the internal environment. Because sometimes you could be sitting in a quiet place, but actually your mind is the one that's giving you the distraction. So we're completely silencing the mind, not having any distractions externally or internally. Okay, and we're just focusing on our breathing. Okay. So it's really important, guys, okay, for us at some point of the day to have a few minutes to ourselves. I've outlined that you can perhaps sit for 5 minutes, okay, or you can perhaps even do different various mindful exercises. So we can go for a walk, we can do for some drawing, some colouring in, okay, we can sit outside or inside, but really important for us to think about mindfulness and taking just 5 minutes start with a day to silence the mind. So I want to work and go on to the next section now, which is all going to talk about our strategies for lockdown and dealing with time away from school. Now, the first one I would say to you, okay, now I don't believe in telling you to do something unless I do it myself, is to work towards a goal. Okay, so we all have goals in life. Okay, so it can be a big goal, it can be a small goal, it doesn't matter what it is, but work towards a goal. Okay, so one of the goals, for example, for myself, is I don't really watch that much TV. Okay, and we've started to watch Netflix. I know I've only recently got into Netflix the last couple of months, and I said, right, I want to watch some series. Lots of times people are talking about these different series on Netflix, and actually I don't watch enough of them. So I'm going to set myself a goal that at least, I've got into a series at the moment. So what am I watching? The Crown I've started to watch. Okay, so for 1 hour a day, I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to watch The Crown. Okay, that's one of the things that I've done. Okay. Another thing could be, well, perhaps, by the end of the week, I'm going to, have 5 minutes of quiet time by myself. Okay, by the end of the week, I want to, I've done my English, my maths, and my science homework. Okay, so it's really important for us to start to create to-do lists. Okay, start to create goals and start to think about working towards something, because every single day when you wake up, you should be thinking, okay, how does this fit into the bigger goal? What is my to-do list? What do I need to achieve? And at the moment, in the current lockdown, it's very, very difficult to set ourselves long-term goals because we don't know. You might be going back to school after half term. So right now it's January 21. So you might be going back in 3-4 weeks, or you might not be going back until Easter. Okay. So what I would say to you is, for the moment, just create a strategy for the next maybe a week, 2 weeks. Okay, start small. Okay, so for the next 2 weeks, what would you like to achieve? If you're ready and you think you can set yourself a goal for 30 days, that's brilliant and that's ideal, to be honest. Okay, because they say it takes 30 days to change or create a habit. Okay, so 30 days is ideal, but if you're not quite there for 30 days, then just think, what do I want to accomplish in the next 7 days? Okay, and it could be really, really simple. It could be, one of mine is I want to drink more water. As you can see, I've been sipping on this. Okay, so what do I want to do? So create yourself a to-do list. So I want you to pause the video, okay, and write down what it is you want to achieve in the next 30 days, 2 weeks, or 1 week. Brilliant. Okay, so write down one goal you'd like to achieve in the 30 days. I'd also like you to write down what you need to achieve every week in order to accomplish it. So, for example, If your goal is to, let's say, I don't know, be able to walk 5 miles, okay, if you can't walk 5 miles now, okay, every week you might need to walk, say, if I can walk a mile or a mile or 2 miles, if I can walk 2 miles now, but I can't quite walk 5 miles, every single week I need to make sure, okay, that I'm doing my 2 miles and perhaps going an extra half a mile on top. Okay, so the first week I'll do 2.5, 3, 3.5, etc., etc. Okay, so then eventually I get to 5 miles. How will I feel when I've accomplished my goal? Okay, so really, really important. So lots of the time we focus on the goals and what we want to achieve, but why are we doing it, and how will you feel when you've accomplished your goal? Okay, so I want you to write down how you feel when you accomplish your goal. So you may feel happy, you may feel like you've done something, you may feel proud. Okay, so again, pause the video. Okay, pause the video and give yourself some time to answer that question. Thank you. So hopefully you've got that and you've written that down. Just a few more sort of tips and strategies. Okay, one thing that I'd really implore, and I always speak to people and young people particularly, is to focus on the now. So the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. The only thing that exists right now is the present. Okay, it's a gift. Okay, it's a present. Okay, so just focus on the now. Okay, so you may have lots of stresses and thinking, well, am I going to take my exams in over the summer? Oh, I missed out on loads of schooling over the last couple of months. That doesn't exist. Okay, the past doesn't exist, the present doesn't exist. It's just the present. Okay, the focus on the now, really, really important. The other thing is, even if it's one person you speak to every single day or a whole group of people, make sure you're scheduling time to reach out to family and friends. Okay, it is a difficult time at the moment. We can't be meeting up with people. We can't be going out and playing football or, doing after school clubs, the things we enjoy. Okay, but what we can be doing is just reaching out to our friends. Okay, so you can WhatsApp them or FaceTime them or whatever it is. Okay, but make sure we're keeping in contact with people. It's good for our mental and our emotional health. The other one is to keep active, guys. Really, really important. I'm not encouraging you to go out and break any lockdown rules, of course, but what we can do is actually get out. Okay, we're allowed out for exercise. I don't know your situation at home. If you can't actually get out of the house because perhaps you're shielding, or if your family's is sort of vulnerable, then we can work out at home. I work out here, right here in my bedroom or outside in the living room. Okay, but really keep active. It's really, really important to keep ourselves active. My final tip on the strategies will be to work with what you have. I love to go to the gym. I love to train, but unfortunately, I can't go right now. I would love to have loads of weights here at home, but I don't have weights here at home, so I work with what I've got. Okay, really, really important. Lots of times we make ourselves excuses in our head, and we say, "Well, we can't do this because of that, or that won't happen because of this." Actually, it's just an excuse. Work with what you've got at the moment. Okay. So our final exercise, what I want you to do, grab a new bit of paper, and all I want you to do is draw a shield. Okay, so draw a shield with 4 quadrants in it. And again, I'm going to call out the questions. I want you to write it down, answer the questions, and then pause the video as you're doing it. The first one is, what can I do during lockdown to keep me happy? Okay, so what can I do during lockdown to keep me happy? So you could keep active, you can go for walks, speak to your family or friends, watch some entertaining videos on YouTube. What can you do during lockdown to keep you happy? That's the first question. So pause the video, write that down. The second question rather, what can I do during lockdown to keep me motivated? So what can I do? Okay, so we're focusing on keeping us happy, but how do we keep ourselves motivated in the first place? One of the things that I do is watch lots of podcasts and inspirational things on YouTube. I have a vision board. So if you haven't, perhaps you can create a vision board of all the things that you want to achieve and where you want to go. So what can you do during lockdown to keep you motivated? So pause the video, answer that question. The third one is, what support networks will you use? Okay, so we all need support networks. I have my family that I speak to, I have a set of friends that I contact with on WhatsApp. What support networks will you use? Okay, what support networks will you use? Okay, to help you during lockdown. So again, pause the video, write that down. The fourth one is, what will I do at least 3 times a week to quiet my mind? Okay, so what can you do at least 3 times a week to quiet my mind? So we've gone over some of those things already. So you could meditate, you could listen to some music, you could go for a walk, you could do some exercise, you can draw, you could paint. What could you do for 3 times a week to quiet your mind? So pause the video, give that a go. And the final question is, a quote or mantra I will use to keep me motivated during lockdown while schools are closed. So, a quote or mantra I will use to keep me motivated during lockdown while schools are closed. Now, one of the things, my favorite quotes, I always say this, is by Steve Jobs. So he says, you can connect the dots looking backwards, but you can't connect the dots looking forwards. So my interpretation of that is that actually a lot of the things that we're doing now during lockdown, okay, it might not make sense to us now. It might seem a bit weird, okay, it might not make sense, but later on down the line, okay, it will all make sense. So pause the video, write your quote down. Okay, so what have we covered in this video? We have covered, what we have covered is what we've spoken about mindfulness and what you can do. Okay, hopefully you did the mindfulness exercise there. We've spoken about some different strategies, and we've also created our own little shield, okay, that we can use, okay, going forward to help us. Okay, so with that, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learnt it. Okay, as I said, the best way to get information out of these videos is to pause it and do the exercises. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that session. Okay, my top tip for you would be to silence the mind, focus on the breath, okay, and focus on the now. And with that, thank you very much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed it. Keep yourself well, and fingers crossed I might see you soon. Thank you.